Cornflake cakes are a bit of a Schrodinger's recipe for me. Hi everyone and welcome to another noisy recipe video. Sorry there's more drilling outside my flat yet again, all day every day lately. And today we're going to be making matcha cornflake cakes for Easter. These are kind of like chocolate nests, but instead of using shredded wheat for that nesty effect, we're going to be using cornflakes. I do actually have a recipe for the more traditional chocolate Easter nest on my blog matchacakes.com. I'll pop a link down below in the description if you want to know how to make them. But although they are super cute and the shredded wheat does actually make the chocolate cakes look like nests, I don't actually like shredded wheat. You can see the back date on that shredded wheat recipe. I made it years ago. I actually originally created for Mothercare's blog, but Mothercare no longer really exists in the UK. I think some of their stuff like clothing is still sold under Boots, but Mothercare website and Mothercare brand doesn't really exist by itself anymore in the UK, sadly. So that's actually why I made that particular recipe, even though I don't like shredded wheat myself, because I made blog post recipes that are easy for the whole family, for young kids and their mums and dads to make. But my matcha cornflake cake is very similar. You're just melting chocolate and stirring it into cereal. The three main differences are: one, obviously I'm using cornflakes instead of shredded wheat because I prefer the taste more. Two, I'm using matcha white chocolate. I'm making matcha white chocolate rather instead of using milk or dark chocolate. And three, these are actually even quicker to make because we're using white chocolate, which means we don't have to add any butter or syrup to make sure that the chocolate stays soft. I have a few recipes where I've made tempered matcha chocolate, so when you temper chocolate you make sure that it will set solidly again so it's nice and snappy. But you'll probably be happy to know you don't actually have to temper chocolate for this recipe because we don't actually want it to set really solid. So you can just melt it with wild abandon and you don't have to worry about coming up to proper temper temperature. The reason why I said this is Schrodinger's recipe for me is because I always simultaneously do and don't know how to make it. It's such a simple recipe. You melt chocolate, you stir some cereal into it, and then you put it into cupcake cases and then you let it set. How much chocolate and how much cereal though? I seldom actually pay attention to it when I'm just making it casually at home. I just eyeball it and melt a bunch of chocolate, and then I just take the cereal box and shake into it until I feel like I have enough. And it's all well and good with the shredded wheat one because, thank you past hash, I measured out all the ingredients in the past. But that was for shredded wheat. You're going to need a different quantity of cereal for cornflakes to make sure you don't have any bald spots, so that you have enough chocolate for the cereal but you don't have too much chocolate, if that makes sense. So that's what I mean by I do and I don't know how to make it. I do know how to make it because I eyeball it, but up until now I didn't really know the quantities. So what I literally did before deciding to make this recipe video is I took one cupcake case, I filled it really heat with cornflakes because once you stir the cornflakes you're going to start to crunch them down a bit and it will get a bit smaller, and I did that 12 times and I measured it so that I knew how many grams of cornflakes you'd actually need, and it was a really weird number, like 137 grams, so I just roughly rounded it up really roughly to 150 grams. And then I looked at how big it looked in the bowl, and then I took some chocolate bars and I thought, yep, this is enough, and then I used that and it turned out to be 300 grams of chocolate. And thankfully, because I've made matcha white chocolate a lot, I knew how much matcha to use for that chocolate to make it strong enough. Putting these together will take you no more than 10 minutes. Then you just need to let them chill in the hour so that they set, and that is it. So with all that said, let's go to the kitchen and see how it's done. We're going to start with a pan of barely simmering water, and we're going to pop on a bowl, a heat-proof bowl, full of 300 grams of white chocolate. And we don't want the water to boil. We don't want it to hit the bottom of the bowl either, so make sure that the water is relatively low to the boil. And we're also going to add 2 tablespoonfuls of matcha. And that is it. We're just going to let this melt down, give it a bit of a stir. We didn't even need to sift the matcha because I find matcha and white chocolate mixes together super easily, which is very handy. And you know, if you were making milk or dark chocolate Rice Krispie cakes, you would actually add a little bit of butter and a little bit of golden syrup or some kind of syrup to it to help make it a bit softer, otherwise it'll be really hard to bite into. But with white chocolate, it's actually already quite soft as a chocolate, and because we're not tempering the chocolate, we're just heating it up to quite warm, we don't want it to set hard again, then it's actually still going to be quite soft, so no need to add anything else. And that's it. This is our matcha white chocolate ready for our cornflake cakes. I'm going to take this off the heat now. bring our chocolate over here. I've just got a little towel underneath to catch drips. And we're going to add 150 grams of cornflakes. And we're going to give it a gentle mix to coat all of the cornflakes in the chocolate. There we go, that's nice and evenly coated. It's very important that you scoop from the bottom carefully so you don't overflow with your cornflakes to get all of that chocolate evenly distributed. And at first it will look like, oh no, there's not going to be enough, but trust me, as you can see, it is enough. So now we're going to fill our cupcake cases. So I have a muffin tin here and I've lined them with muffin cases. They are actually muffin cases, not cupcake cases. They're a bit bigger than cupcake cases. And I'm just going to start filling them. There we go, that was 12 of them perfectly. Now for arguably the best part, mini eggs. I wish you could smell these. I bet you can already imagine the smell. This is a 270 gram bag and I'm going to pop 3 on top of each. So let's go for some colourful ones. Got a yellow, a purple and a pink. Aren't these just stinking adorable? Right, we're going to pop these in the fridge for at least an hour to set. Well, aren't these just a delight? They're so cute, looks like a little mini Easter egg hunt. Oh, stop it, this is just too adorable. I do like the eggs on the grass vibe. Like I said, it's more of an Easter egg hunt vibe than a bird's nest vibe. I don't think a bird would randomly leave their eggs on the grass like this. But you saw how quick and easy that was. Right, I'm going to take a bite, but I'm going to take a bite out of the one I cut. Here we are. It has an Easter egg, mysteriously missing. I wonder where it went. I'm going to take one off actually because I know if I bite into it, it's going to roll off and go somewhere. So cheers. It tastes of childhood, only a bit bougie because of the matcha. If you like chocolate cornflake cakes and you like chocolate matcha, then this is the one for you. And you heard that crunch as well. Because there's basically no water in the chocolate when you coat the cornflakes in it, creates a seal, so those cornflakes stay really, really crisp and crunchy. I'm really pleased with those. So there you go, matcha cornflake cakes. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's recipe video and I hope you'll join me next Wednesday for my next one. Get the full written recipe on my blog tashcakes.com, follow me on Instagram on tashcakes.tastes and find me on TikTok too, on tashcakes there too, but my handle is food in slow motion. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more. Give this video a like if you'd like to help other people find it. Comment down below if you'd like me to make anything in particular and I will see you all next time. Be good, be nice and have a good week. Another Schrödinger type phenomenon I'm facing is apparently British roads. They're simultaneously always in a state of being repaired and in disrepair.